Good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How is everyone this morning? Hello, Nancy, Barbara, beautiful souls on Instagram. Good morning. How does my heart feel today? Really, really great is how my heart feels today. Good morning, Lily. Good morning, Rose. I'm been getting all sorts of great feedback from you guys. We just finished 5 days of the Rise Journal, the Rise Journal Challenge. This is my meditative journaling practice for those of you who are new. And we just completed 5 days live here in the morning of Rise journaling. And I've been getting so much great feedback. Some of you are signing up for some coaching sessions, my heart-to-heart sessions, where we dive deeper and kind of accelerate the heart transformation process. And it's been so wonderful to hear your feedback. So I actually wanted to jump on and connect this morning. We'll do a little music here in a moment. But I also want to hear from you, like, how was the journal for you? How are you guys feeling? Do you have any questions about the journals? Any kind of feedback? This is my first time creating a journal of any kind of print offering. I have so many more ideas, but moving forward, I want to have as much real feedback from you guys, things I could have done better, other things you might be interested in learning or knowing or experiencing with me or from me. So, yeah, let me know. Good morning, Kelly. How are you? Am I married? No, I am divorced. Good morning. From Mexico, in Sydney. People all over the world. Good morning, Morgan. Good morning, Becky. This coffee's hitting the spot today. Yes, the forest is very peaceful this morning. Good morning. Morgan says she's used YouTube to catch up on the journaling because of your work schedule. Oh, that's great. And yes, for those of you who might have missed the journal, or you might be new to me right now, if you want to do the journal challenge or have guided journaling at any time, it's all available on my YouTube channel. I'm also live streaming on my YouTube at the same time in HD. So if you want an elevated experience, you can go follow me there or revisit this live at any time. The music really helped with your journaling flow. Good, I'm glad to hear that. Kelly says, I never considered that I had hidden things, trauma, hurts, disappointment in my heart. Yeah, I think that's really the core of the practice for many of us. And it's why I'm always asking you, how is your heart? Because we have a bit of incoherence, which is what makes us so beautiful and complex and nuanced as human beings. We say one thing, but we do another. And it's because we have our conscious mind and our subconscious or unconscious mind. And surprisingly, the research shows that 95% of the time we are operating from our subconscious mind, which is connected to our heart, our default mode network, the foundation that was laid by the time we were 7 years old. A way of understanding or being in the world that is not in the mind. And so as much as we like to stay there and get all this information and learn, until we tend to the hurt in our heart and get through those feelings, right? Because many times we're doing what feels quote unquote good. or comfortable maybe is a better word, because even though it might feel good, it might not be for your highest good. It might just be what's comfortable. It might just be your pattern. Lily says life is so much lighter since you started the journal. That's great. Can we still get your journal? Yes, guys, the journal is now always available for you. It's on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, all the stores. So if you want the journal, it's always available for you. You can find a link directly to it on my website, or just search for it on whatever retailer you like to get it from. Also, if you want to support the journal, if you could leave a review on Amazon, or an honest review. It doesn't have to be forced or anything, but your honest experience, that would be greatly appreciated. Help give others an idea of what it's like to actually use the journal. So this morning I figured I might take a few guests actually, and just chit chat with you guys about the journal, or whatever's on your heart this morning. I see I have one person who's already trying to come in, so maybe we'll get to them after I play a song. Also, my album is coming out on Thursday, my birthday, August 11th, Love and Liberation. Hello, oh, we got a Joel from, where are you from? France. Hello, Joel from France. Welcome. Thanks for the birthday love. Hello, LaShawn. So, I'll take some guests on Instagram in about 5-10 minutes. But I'm going to play a little music first. And maybe we should start with a bit of gratitude. Put what you are thankful for in the comments, beautiful souls. And as you write what you're thankful for, I'm going to put my sponsors up on the screen. I'm thankful for all of those who are supporting my channel. I do this live stream almost daily, and it's all about holding space for heart-centered transformation. So some days we do the journal, some days we do meditation, some days we do song, and other days we have dialogue about different parts of our shared experience. But what are you thankful for? I'm thankful for the sunrise. And Joel asked me about my shirt. Thanks, Joel. I think this is from Eddie Bauer. I'm a full-time traveler, so I'm thankful for this shirt because it's just like my old favorite shirt that I've had for a long time, since college. That's now pretty torn. So I'm thankful for this shirt. Thankful for a beautiful day. Thankful for beautiful souls like you. Thankful for the divine connections. Grateful I slept like a baby. Oh, a friend's gonna join in the journal challenge. That's wonderful. Thankful for the opening of another gateway of discovery. Thankful for life, sunshine, the trees. I woke up this morning, smiled with the rising sun, and 3 little birds, each by my doorstep, was singing sweet songs. A melody's pure and true. This is my message to you. Singing, don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing's gonna be alright. Singing, don't worry now about a thing, 'cause every little thing's gonna be alright. Thankful for family, grandkids, and students. Thankful for your life, yes. I'm thankful the consciousness of this planet seems to be rising, one healed soul at a time. Yes, dear one. That's how healed people heal people. I woke up this morning, smiled with the rising sun, and 3 little birds, each by my doorstep, were singing sweet songs, a melody's pure and true. This is my message to you. Well, singing, don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing's gonna be alright. Singing, don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing's gonna be alright. Oh, every little thing, oh, every little thing's gonna be alright. Every little thing's gonna be alright. Yes, thankful for rest. Yes. Thankful for who I am becoming. Thankful for the soul family. Okay. So I said we were going to take a guest, and I think we have one guest. Let's see. Oh, we have a question. Is there a downloadable journal that's phone friendly? Not at the moment. You can download a sample of it on my website. You can scroll down and you can find that. But, I mean, you can read it on your phone. But I don't think you can really journal on it. So, sorry about that. And let's see. Andrea. All right, Andrea. Let's see if we can get Andrea in. Good morning. Hello? Oh, I guess not. Well, if anyone else wants to come on and share or have any questions, you're welcome to. And if not, that's okay too. maybe I'll just share what's been on my heart lately. As we've been doing the journal practice, I've been remembering a truth I read some time ago. I was reading a book by C.S. Lewis called Mere Christianity. And he was talking about many powerful laws of nature, the law of undulation, the fact that life will always wave. But he also shared something about the relationship between emotion and imagination. And I remember reading this, and it kind of stopped me in my tracks. I had to read it several times. And well, the way I read is with a journal. So sometimes I'll just write whatever it is that I want to remember down so that it really sinks in. It's kind of how I study. And what he said was that emotion is directly related to imagination, on the front end and on the back end. On the front end, because we have imagined constructs, known and unknown to us, that shape our reality. So with each thing we experience, we have a response based on that imagination. So if we have a very hard rule around maybe dinner etiquette, right? And someone is living outside of those rules, it may bring us a sense of frustration, a sense of, I don't know, maybe rage if you're even super emphatic about dinner etiquette. But that's not a hard rule about reality, right? You don't have to feel any kind of way about how someone is or isn't eating their food. But so that's on the front end. But on the back end, then you do this thing where we start putting people in very black and white spaces. So if you are infatuated with someone, you might say, oh, they can do no wrong, right? They're perfect. And of course, their humanity will show up and let you down. But also on the sad end, when you are let down, maybe time and time again, you'll use the word always, as if they're only the hurt, right? Only that thing that's causing you discord or struggle. And that isn't true either. So our imagination can run wild, and I think that's the beauty of sitting with yourself, whether it's in meditation or the journal or whatever way you self-study. Because you can get in touch with that, and if you can actually witness yourself outside of those emotions, you can see the space between the sincere and the silly ways that we show up. That's why I love this practice, because it gives us a moment to stop and slow down and reconnect. And in that space, you can actually fill yourself with new patterns, new beliefs, new ways of being. And when you do that, those things become your second nature versus all of the other messages we receive. Whether it's insecurity, lack of self-worth, self-love, or just living inside of other people's imagined realities for us. So one of my favorite practices in meditation is to recognize not only is emotion directly related to imagination, emotion, in a way, is imagination. And the beauty of that is we can reimagine at any time as we learn how to detach from specific experiences. So may we all have the patience and the courage to practice becoming more self-aware, self-loving and observant, to consciously create a life that works for us. Take a moment, friend, breathe in deep, step back from the edge, the problems that you keep on with your while, the tables will turn. Just live for today, don't wait for returns on all that love you pay. Sometimes you might get burned, the tables will turn. The tables will turn. Tables will turn. Go get lost in hope, 'cause all you have to gain is peace and pure light. Life without that pain, the tables will turn. Go and live your dreams, give it all you've got. Don't waste time on schemes, you only get one shot. The tables will turn. The tables will turn. The tables will turn. Friend, I don't know what you're feeling, but I know your healing is coming soon. Just stay true to the love in your heart. It will keep you from falling apart. The tables will turn. The tables will turn. The tables will turn. Go and live your dreams. Give it all you've got. Don't waste time on schemes. You only get one shot. Oh. The tables will turn. Go get lost in hope. 'Cause all you have to gain is peace and pure light. Life without that pain. Oh. The tables will turn. The tables will turn, babe. The tables will turn. The tables will turn. Blessings, you're very welcome. Okay, I guess while I was playing, there's like 4 requests now on Instagram, so we'll see if any of those people want to go live, if there's not any more glitches. Yes, they are turning. Alright, let's see who we have here. Philip. Maybe not. Okay, maybe that didn't work for Philip. Let's try Ray? New Ray? I'm not sure what your name is. Well, let's see who else we have here. Is it Colleen? I don't know if it's the technology or what. I don't get on Instagram Live that much. Oh, hello.
Hi. What a treat.
Good morning. What a treat to see you. How are you?
Good morning. It's so nice to see you. So nice to be seen.
How are you? What's on your heart this morning?
I'm very well. Really grateful, actually. First of all, for a sunny day in Washington State.
Yes. Oh, you're in Washington as well.
I am. I value every sunny day we get here for sure. So, super grateful for that. And I'm grateful to be doing this process. I'm so thankful. I've been a journaler all my life. But this particular process that you offered the free form release for just a few minutes, it's been a phenomenal change.
Really?
I involve my head in my journaling. Usually I think my way through it. Mm-hmm. So that just non-thinking, breathing, writing, feeling, that has been a whole new level, and I love it.
Ooh, great. Yeah.
And I feel like I could do it for like an hour.
Oh, yeah, totally. This practice kind of happened intuitively over time. And I can't remember exactly what I wrote in the introduction of the journal, but my first time I actually journaled, I was in maybe it was like 2021. And it was so heavy, I was dealing with a breakup. And in the middle of the night, I just grabbed like a college notebook and began to do the release. I did a release for like 20 pages. Because I had that much to let go of. And honestly, I think many of us do, especially if we're new to this practice, because we're holding a lot that we don't realize until you actually, turn your focus on it. And so,
absolutely.
And yesterday someone came on, I think her name was Jessie, and we were talking, and she said, doing it in the evening as well, just the release portion, because all day, every day, we're having these exchanges, and whether they're positive or, troubling, it's like we still got to clear that space so that we're connected to ourselves. And so just letting it all go is such a great practice.
It's so fantastic. My name is Colleen, by the way.
Colleen, great.
I've often done high impact release when something's super emotional. I'll write it out. I'll just get it all out, and then I burn it or, flush it or something. So I've done it that way. But just to do this on the daily, it's really a phenomenal practice. I think it's like a guidepost leading me in faster.
Good. Yeah, I find that. Well, are you an empath?
Well, I don't consider myself an empath. I've been in healing work for almost 40 years.
Oh, wow.
I've learned to shield myself really well. Also the fifth of 5 children.
Okay.
So I learned to shield myself there, but I'm highly intuitive. And I definitely have some degree of empath women around, and I've been in the presence in this world of mine of some real true empaths, and one of my sons is an absolute true empath. So I've seen what that looks like when it's unbridled empath, and that's not really how I am in the world. I have a better shield that I was born with, but nonetheless,
okay.
Even without being that sensitive, you still pick up a lot in the world.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm curious because I know I draw a lot of empaths because I definitely am one, but I think we all have a natural empathy. That's part of being human. Some of us it's a little bit more sensitive than others, but that the release part of it is like we're social beings and we want to be connected, but we also get so easily disconnected from ourselves with the pursuit of the other, right? Trying to live up to other people's ideas or goals, or trying to just survive a situation. If somebody can't see you or understand you or respect what you need in that moment, and really,
absolutely.
Or even this idea that, to be vulnerable is to be weak, or to show that, so like, how do you create a safe space for yourself to actually address those things and not just suppress them? Because that's really what happens most often, right? We're suppressing it all, and then when you have this release, you're like, oh, I didn't know that was there.
Right, surprise. Yeah. It's so true. It's just a daily way to get down to the vulnerable piece and address it, soothe it, calm it, and then carry on.
Beautiful soul. I'm glad to connect with you, Colleen. And you're in Washington?
Yes, I had signed up for your Rise and Hike. And
oh, okay. And you had the injury to your ankle.
Yes.
Are you doing well? Is it better now?
I'm so well. I'm I'm going hiking this weekend.
Oh,
so
good.
yeah.
Well, good. Yeah. Unfortunately, we had to cancel that, but it seems like it was for the best, and hopefully we'll
Yeah.
be able to schedule something else soon.
Things happen as they do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, I'm so grateful you're on here and doing valuable. And it's especially poignant coming from a man. It's really important for men to get into this heart work, and I'm just so grateful that that's happening in this world.
Well, thank you, Colleen.
I have 2 beautiful sons, and they're doing that work also and getting clear and true to themselves. It's wonderful to see.
Oh, well, thank you, Colleen. It's been a journey for me. I think the journal was where I created a safe space for myself, right? Like this practice, because I feel like what is revered as being a man's man is actually quite unhealthy in a lot of ways. And so there's not a lot of examples of a grounded, healthy masculine energy, right?
Absolutely true.
Being strong and open-hearted and vulnerable, but also, firm when it's necessary. Balanced really is the word. So
right.
I'm happy to be in this state of my life where I feel like I can embody that more than ever. And of course, I'm always a work in progress, like we all are. But
of course,
I'm better today than I was yesterday. That's for sure. So thank you, Colleen.
Yes, such a beautiful thing to be a part of and witness.
Thank you. Thank you for coming on. Sending you so much love.
What a treat. I didn't even know this was an option with Instagram, so I'm learning.
Yeah, I'm learning too. I've been on TikTok for the last year. Well, actually 2 years mostly, and took a time away from Instagram because for me, I had a poor relationship with it for a while and needed a break. And now I'm actually able to come back on my own terms and just do what feels right for me. So it's good to be back.
Yes, well, that's where I found you, so I'm grateful you're back.
Well, me too. Well, have a wonderful day. Unless you have anything else you want to share or say, I'm open. I'm just kind of going with the flow this morning.
I just want to highlight that I learned a lot from listening to your interview with Lee Harris.
Oh, really?
That was really powerful to me about addressing fears. I just really appreciated that interview.
Well, you're welcome. Can you say more about that? It's been a little while, and I'm a little rusty on what happened in that conversation.
It was just the conversation kind of put together some of the synchronicities that were happening for you in your life and what you were creating, and that the fears were still there and you still had to find a way through them. And I think a lot of us, definitely me included in this right now, is this sort of hope that the fears will go away first. And it's not working that way.
No. I found, I didn't express it this way in the interview with Lee, but I did another podcast with Joey Labassiere, who's an amazing hypnotherapist, actually, and like coach and spiritual leader. And I feel like this is the best way to express it. And I feel like fear and love are 2 sides of the same coin.
Yes, right? This is what you said.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, and you have to get close enough, right, to the fear to flip the coin over. And when you flip it over, there's love, there's joy, there's happiness, because you realize it was your imagination, working against you, really. That's what it was. So. And
I can say in my life, I've got a few years going here, thank God. I'm grateful for every one of them.
Yeah.
Is that even though I've been through this process before, I've come up against fears and had that transformative experience with them. Mm-hmm. The fear of fear never stops. Even though I've had that transcendent experience with it before, new things come up that I'm a little more fearful of. I think as I get closer to my authentic heart, sort of that fear intensifies a little bit. It's like a true calling. Like, are you sure you really want to go here?
Well, life is always calling us higher or deeper, right?
Yeah.
whatever way you want to think of
Always.
it. And it's like as you conquer one fear, well, you know, one of my earliest examples of this was as an introvert empath, you know, feeling all this energy and not knowing what to do with it as a kid.
Yeah.
All of my family was musicians, and my dad wanted me to pick up an instrument. He was bringing me all kinds of instruments. I'm your fifth of five children. I'm seventh of eight, so I'm also on the younger side, right?
Yeah.
Big family, baby brother, and I struggled because I was like, I don't want to be in front of people. I was just so afraid. I was like, no. And one day, my dad picked up the guitar and started playing. I'd never heard him play before. And it was just so resonant with, like, I needed to do that. I went from, like, not wanting to do anything musically to being like, I have to play that instrument and I have to learn it now. And I'm going to do that for the rest of my life, like, in a moment. So I had to face my fear, right? And he taught me to play. I started playing in church and different events. And I just loved it. And that to me was like, I was afraid of this thing, and now this is actually bringing me so much joy. And I think there's also another component that's like, the thing you're afraid of is actually attached to your heart in a way. And maybe
I completely agree.
Right? It's like there's something there, right?
That's why I said it's like a divine calling that's calling you in. I do think those pockets of fear are part of the divine call to this way.
Yeah.
Go toward that.
Yeah.
It's a remarkable process.
Yeah. It's really beautiful work. So that's this whole thing about emotion and imagination I was saying earlier. It's like, okay, when I feel that fear, as much as I'm able, right? I'm not always able to dive headlong in at first. That's
right.
It's a process. But
Agreed.
Once I settle down and maybe journal a bit and get out of that emotion of it, then I can be, you know, more objective and just say, okay, I'm afraid of this. This is only limiting my ability to actually be present and enjoy my life. So how do I develop a strategy to lean in, right? And that's like my practice. That's the practice, and that's the beauty of like connecting each day and just releasing. Like, I don't even need to think about it, because that actually creates a space for us to process our mental activity without judgment, without attachment, without needing to control it, right? So there's all of these little things. I try to hack my life to where they happen a little bit more naturally, maybe is the word, where I don't have to go, okay, I'm going to sit down now and do this thing and it's going to suck, you know? Right. Just bear down. No, it's like, okay, this is actually cool. I'm going to journal and it's just me writing, but I'm actually working on this other thing at the same time. So those are kind of my little sneaky approaches that I try to attach to or build a life around. That really, you know, at the end of the day, you realize it's like, oh, it's just this fear game. And fear is just my imagination gone wild because I want to control a story that I can't control.
So true. That is so true.
Yeah.
It's remarkable how it continues to come up in life. I'm so curious, as a little kid wanting to play music, how did you initially move past that fear?
So my whole family played and sang, and before I started playing guitar, we were all singing like as a gospel choir kind of a thing. And so being the youngest, I would just kind of like tuck my head and like mumble the words and you know, in the chorus you can do that. But as a guitarist, it was nice because most of the music was driven by the other instruments, and I could just kind of play, you know, little things. But it was still a practice for a long time. And, you know, I went from playing in a band with my family to studying music in college to leading my own bands and being a sideman. And every step of the way, it was like a different level of it. And it's actually something I still kind of work through, honestly.
Yeah.
But what shifted things for me and made it lighter was when I stopped thinking about it as, well, there were two things. One was, as a musician, like I knew music was a part of my life, but when I looked at all of the professional musicians, I was like, I see a bunch of musicians that I was trying to fit myself into their path. So for a long time, I wanted to be like this jazz guitar player. I studied jazz in college and was decent at it, but actually ended up hurting myself trying to be another guitar player that I admired. Literally practicing 12 hours a day, and like got tendonitis and couldn't play for a year and a half. And I realized that so much of my process had been trying to be someone else or fit into a box that I saw in front of me. But those people created their own boxes, right? So the real lesson is to learn self enough, or to honor what's true for you in your heart, to create authentically. And so once I started doing that and was able to connect my passion, right, spirituality and sharing and actually helping other people in their journey to my music, then it was just easy, because I wasn't being anybody else. I wasn't being who I'm not. So that's one part. And I think the other part is just being in front of people, worrying about how am I being perceived, right? Why is he wearing that? Why is he playing like that? Why is he doing that? I don't like this kind of music. Music is exhausting. So subjective, and so everybody has their opinions about what music should be. Especially if you see somebody with a guitar, or a black man with a guitar, or all of the little the subdivided pieces. So
for sure,
I got to a point where I was like, why am I worried about that? I can't control that. People are either going to love it, hate it, or not care. It's just, no matter what you do. So I decided.
Plus, a lot of it, when you're trying to perceive perceptions, it's an imagination.
Always, right?
Yeah.
And it's really more of a reflection of my own insecurities. So that's when I stopped looking outward and started looking inward and going, what in me needs this random person who I don't know, never met, to like every bit of everything I'm doing. Right. And so that's a lack of my own self-worth, lack of my own self-love, and wanting to get that from the outside in. But you can't receive it like that, because you're going to see the world as you are, and people give you compliments and you'll brush them aside, right? You can't receive them. So I learned through the Rise journaling, for a long time, my intention was just to simply love myself. When I injured my hand, I went through this book called You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay.
Beautiful.
And she has a lot of mirror work, a lot of self-love work, a lot of forgiveness. And that started a transformation for me. And so now I already know that I love everything that I'm doing. I'm more than worthy and deserving of all of everything I'm creating and receiving. So now my focus is not about how are people perceiving me. It's like, how can I impact the world?
Yeah. And it like takes that whole load off. It's there. You're you.
Yeah. And
it's so powerful.
Yeah. So I just want to let you know, and everyone else in this live, whatever platform you're on, like, I always see these as co-created experiences, because as I'm offering, I'm also receiving your love and affirmation. And it's such a validation, because I know I'm doing something new and different and vulnerable and open. And as I'm seeing other souls like yourself come in, I'm like, okay, yeah, this is why I'm here. This is why my guidance is leading me here to do this, because this is true for all of us, right? Like, we all want this space and didn't exactly know how to access it or what it meant,
right.
So it's like, now I am creating my own
hearted people. It's
yeah,
really phenomenal.
Yeah. Well, that's for a long time I struggled, because I think as an empath, I think many empaths, when we don't know how to manage our energy, we show up as a victim to all of our social experiences. Well, a lot of experiences, period. And so social media, of course, is one of those. And it's very easy for all of us to go, oh, social media is so horrible and toxic. And I go, okay, we're all 50% of every experience we're having. And don't get me wrong, Facebook, whoever owns these companies and develops the algorithm, they know what they're doing, right?
Oh, yeah.
But we're creating the content.
Right.
We are creating the content. So I had this idea to actually do essentially what I'm doing now about, actually when I was in college, because of that, I was like, what if there was a social network where It was called Love Is ... And you could only post what love is. So when you got online, you actually were being just, given and receiving all of this positive stuff to help you grow and thrive. And of course, I don't have the technical know-how to make any of that happen. But but I realize now at this point in my life where I'm actually learned to manage my empathy, and actually I'm empowered in it. And not only do I receive, but I'm actually able to share my light in a very palpable way. That I don't have to abide by anybody else's rules of anything, actually.
That's
I can
right.
just show up and ask, how's your heart? Offer a space and a blessing. And that's what I want to do. And I'm already doing what love is, right?
Yeah.
In that. And it's actually being shared. And I was surprised because, I just got back on here in January and my account got hacked and deleted. So I started this account fresh beginning of February with nothing. Well, maybe 80 followers because some of my other followers had followed my backup account. And now it's blown up in this short amount of time to what it is today. And
Wow.
and it's because of the How Is Your Heart videos. And I'm like, I love it because I'm like, more people are connected to this. And this is what's actually feeding people. Because I think, like myself, we're all kind of tired of the common social media content that
Absolutely.
isn't serving our highest good,
Yeah. And I just have to say that simple statement with your beautiful resonant voice, it just does go right to the heart. It really does. And, it's something I hear you in my head here and there throughout the day when I'm feeling a little overwhelmed. I will hear your voice saying, "How is your heart?" And I take a breath.
Oh,
So
wonderful.
it's really, really powerful. It's a mantra, really, and it's incredibly powerful.
Well, I'm so humbled and honored to hear that. I was talking to a friend, and she was basically saying, it's beautiful what you're doing. Well, she reflected it back to me. She goes, but, do you feel like you're talking to yourself, or is this the thing you need? And I go, totally, always. I've been doing this. What the funny thing is, everything that I'm sharing, I've been doing, since I was, in my early 20s, maybe younger. In my inner space, right? Because I didn't feel safe or courageous enough to show myself fully.
Right.
I remember, I think, reading Miracle of Mindfulness over a decade ago. And one of the practices in that book, it's a Buddhist kind of introduction to meditation by Thich Nhat Hanh, is to, when you greet someone else, you say, "I love you," in your inner space before you actually say anything audibly. Look them in the eye, you feel that, "I love you." And I've been doing that for a long time. And so that's grown my level of empathy and connection. And I do the same thing before I record any of these videos. I connect to my heart space, to meditation. And so I'm in that energy, which is why I'm always talking about intention. Because when you're in a state of being, of actual love, right, and actual connection, doesn't matter what you say. I could say random syllables, but you could feel the energy, right?
Right.
Right? Like, if someone says the right thing, or maybe the most common one is a very empty apology, right? Like,
the words might all be there.
right?
Yeah.
You're like, okay, you're right. I forgive you, right?
Exactly.
So it's really about the energy we hold, right? Because that's connected to what's running the show, the subconscious mind, 95% of the time. So when we connect to that, connect to our heart space, that's our gateway, our access point. And it's really beautiful to hear from you that it's actually sticking with you, that it's actually being a support to your journey. Because that's my intention, is to really help and create this space that, frankly, I wish that was available to me 20 years ago, right?
Right. But it's it's out of that pain that we experience in life that this creation comes through.
Always.
And really, truly, I'm just so grateful to be having received your intentions so powerfully, and it's really helping me hurdle hurl through some of my fears.
Oh, good. Good. I'm glad to be a support to your journey.
Yeah, I'm so grateful.
You're very welcome.
Great.
You're very welcome.
Great work, girl. I'm going to download that C.S. Lewis book that you were just talking about. Is it Mere Christianity?
Mere Christianity. Yeah.
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 I'm going to download that.
Yeah.
Sounds intriguing.
A lot of brilliant ideas and perspective. Yeah. That's been a while ago too. Maybe 15, 16 years ago. There was a part of my journey where I thought I was going to go study theology and become a Baptist minister, actually. And
that's a road.
That is a road. Well, it's actually the tradition of my family. My whole family's in that tradition, and it was interesting because as I actually allowed myself to be more vulnerable and expand and study more, I realized that what I was seeking wasn't necessarily Christianity alone. It's a beautiful gateway to the divine, and I have a lot of respect, and I learned so much from that tradition. But I realized that the divine is in everything, and it's not separate from us. It's not separate from the trees. It's not separate. And so I just kept studying beyond Christianity and realized, wow, there's so much beauty and perspective in all of the spiritual traditions, and they all have power and place. And so I don't know, I'm just a student of our divine human experience.
I'm right there with you. Yes. So lovely.
Well, it's been a pleasure chatting with you, Colleen. Thank you so much for jumping on. I'm really glad we got to connect, and I'm glad your ankle's doing better.
Me too. Thank you. It's really been remarkable. It's, that day that I went hiking when I had this injury, the moment I stepped into the canopy of the forest, I did hear you say, "How is your heart?"
Whoa.
And I just was in such bliss. It was my first hike of the season, and I was so happy to be out there. And I was in a completely 100% blissed out state during that hike. And then, I took a step that I slipped and fell, had an injury, but I just laid on the floor of the forest and stared up at the trees. I did some great energy work on my ankle. I took into account the beauty around me, and it was, I feel like most of my healing happened there on the floor of the forest.
How marvelous.
It was remarkable. Yeah. And everything since then has just been, the last little bits.
Wow. That is so powerful. I feel like for most people, you injure yourself, you're laying in the forest, you could be in turmoil, and you had such this healing, empowering experience. Right?
I did. It was exquisite. The only human being out there, which I loved. I didn't see anyone else. But then I was injured, and I was like, wait, is this good? It all worked out beautifully.
Oh, good. Oh, yeah. Wonderful. Of course it did. Of course it did. Well,
yes, of course.
Oh, I'm so glad.
What a pleasure to connect with you.
A pleasure indeed, Colleen. Have a wonderful day.
You too.
And hopefully we'll get to hike soon.
Yes, I would love that. It would be wonderful. I'm ready again.
All right. I will be letting you know when that happens.
Sounds great.
All right.
All right.
Take care, my friend. You too.
Take care. I don't know how to end this.
The last time I tried to do this, I ended the whole live. So let me see if I can do better.
Okay. I don't know if there's a way for me to end it.
I think we both have the possibility. The question is, do we know where that button is?
I don't.
Okay. I think I found it. Bye-bye, Colleen.
Bye.
Okay, we're still live. Good. Oh, man. Wow. What a gift to connect with that bright light known as Colleen. Thank you, Colleen, for coming on and sharing. Wow. I think that's really maybe the It reminds me that, you never know the impact of your words, your energy, or your smile. So I think it's always important to show up. And such a gift to me, Colleen, to hear that my intention is being met or how it's being met in your life. So thank you for coming on. Thank you for sharing. And yeah, I'm grateful for you. So, some of you were asking about that book. It's called Mere Christianity by C.S. Lewis. He's written a lot of, I think he's the same guy who wrote the Chronicles of Narnia, right? But he was also very much a well-studied theologian. So, I am going to do maybe one more song and then hop off. And yes, so if the audio has changed, you might want to jump on my YouTube channel. I think that's a glitch in all of these apps. Once you have a guest, it kind of goes low for a second, then it comes back. And sometimes it doesn't, I don't know. So it's not something that I can adjust on my end. That's all Instagram. But thanks for letting me know. So I'm going to play one more little short song this morning and call it a day. Thank you for joining me, beautiful souls. I'm going to play this song for my album, Love and Liberation. Love and liberation, healing for our nation. Love and liberation, that's who we are. Love and liberation, healing for our nation. Love and liberation, that's who we are. We lived in bubbles, tried to keep out the trouble, but it came knocking at our door. We see the greed take the peace that surrounds us. We can't hide from it anymore. Though sometimes it gets crazy, we'll never get lazy, 'cause we were made for times like these. Times where we can draw the lines, 'cause we're making the rules. We're gonna be the reason why our babies never have to cry. They'll stand taller in our shoes, 'cause we've paid the cost and paid the dues. Love and liberation, healing for our nation. Love and liberation, that's who we are. Do you remember who you are? Do you remember who you are? Do you remember who you are? When we take a moment to quiet the mind, breathe, get centered, grounded, and rooted in our heart. release all of our attachment to the material world. And remember that we are love, we are light, we are infinitely powerful. And we are love and liberation. And though sometimes it gets crazy, we'll never get lazy, 'cause we were made for times like these. Times where we can draw the lines, 'cause we're making the rules. We're gonna be the reason why our babies never have to cry. They'll stand taller in our shoes, 'cause we've paid the cost and paid the dues. Love and liberation, healing for our nation. Love and liberation, that's who we are. Love and liberation, healing for our nation. Love and liberation, that's who we are. Thank you all for joining me this morning for a beautiful time to connect. Thank you, Colleen, for your wisdom and your light and your love. Hope you all take the beauty we've cultivated here with you in the world and be healed people, healing people. If you would like to support the live, this is a crowd-supported offering from my heart to yours. There are many beautiful souls who are already supporting on my Patreon. You can go to patreon.com/asoulcalledjoel. Or you can support by just subscribing to my other channels, YouTube, and checking out my music. This album featuring this song, Love and Liberation, will be available on August 11th. Celebration of my 37th year here. Hope you all will check it out. And I hope that it will be a support to your journey. Until next time. May your personal healing be a part of the collective healing, bringing us all closer to wholeness and a brighter day. Much love and light. Peace. Rise is a crowd-sponsored production. If any portion of today's broadcast resonated with you, I hope you'll consider supporting the show. You can find several levels of patronage at patreon.com/asoulcalledjoel. Until next time, may your personal healing be a part of the collective healing, bringing us all closer to wholeness and a brighter day. Much love and light.